Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Explore Classroom. My name is Jennifer Bergen, and I am so glad that you are joining us today. Here in the United States, where I'm live, we are celebrating Jewish American Heritage Month and Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. These varied groups of people have impacted local history, our communities today, and they'll continue to impact our world. To our viewers and our explorers who identify as part of these groups, we see you and we celebrate you. At National Geographic, we believe that anyone can be an explorer and that you have the power to make a difference in our world, no matter how old you are. Explorer Classroom is here to inspire you with stories from the field and connect you with our National Geographic explorers live to answer your questions. This month, our theme is wildlife. From tiny fish that live in the deep, deep ocean to big bears high atop a mountain, animals all across the globe need our help to ensure that they're protected. And today, our explorer protects animals. Her name is Phoebe Griffith. Phoebe is a researcher who studies some of the largest animals found in freshwater, and she works with the Zoological Society in London, England, and in Nepal, as well as IGB in Germany. Phoebe's research focus in recent years has been on the gharial. Have you heard of that before? The gharial is an incredibly special endangered crocodile that's only found in Nepal and India. Through conservation efforts to protect the gharial, such as putting tags on them to collect data, Phoebe and her team hope to help this special creature grow in population. And today, Phoebe's going to tell you more about her work with freshwater predators, including a bit about the gharial. Before we get started, though, let's give a shout out to some of our registered guests. Hello to Colchester Elementary School, 20 Wells, the Fulton School, World Learner Charter School in Chaska. Chaska? I hope I said that right. Hello to you. Mill Pond School, Ocean Way Elementary School, and of course, all of our homeschool families out there. We are so thrilled to have you. And with that, let's get this Explorer Classroom started. It's almost time to meet Phoebe, who's going to share all about freshwater megapredators. But first, we're going to join Phoebe in her office in the field. And our producer, Andre, is going to help us connect with her. Andre, can you get us connected to Phoebe?
Hi guys, really nice to meet you. I'm Phoebe Griffith and I'm a scientist who studies freshwater animals. And for that reason, we're out here on the lake today. This is Lake Mughal, the nearest lake to my office. So now I really love freshwaters like lakes because you never know what's under the surface, but often there are some really cool predators under the surface. Now today, it's way too cold for us to get in the water. And actually the water is really turbid, and that means you can't see very far underwater. But what I have got is a couple of videos of the types of animals we might find underwater in this very lake.
So this guy coming up underwater is a pike. Now they ambush other fish that they eat. And what that means is they wait in underwater plants where they're really well hidden. And then they jump out and grab the fish and they move really fast over a short distance. Now, this is a huge group of a type of catfish called Wels catfish. This is one of the absolute biggest fish you can find in rivers and lakes in Europe. And this is just this incredible behaviour where scientists saw loads and loads of these catfish all coming together underwater.
They were pretty awesome, huh? Well, before we move on to talk about some more mega predators we might find in freshwater ecosystems, let's think a little bit more about all those words I just used. What's freshwater? What are ecosystems, and what are predators, and especially what are mega predators?
Wow, Phoebe just gave us a whole lot of vocabulary words. Let's do a little check. All right, all of our viewers out there, I'm going to ask you to do stand up, sit down with me. If you know a vocabulary word, or if you've heard it before, I want you to pop up and then sit back down. All right, if you have heard the word freshwater, pop up and sit back down. Oh, a lot of you have heard of freshwater. Let's try the next word. If you have heard of ecosystems, pop up and sit down. Okay, about the same amount. Who knows the word predator? Ready? Pop up and sit down. Whoa! What about mega predator? Can you pop up and sit down if you know that word? Ooh, that was good. All right, good little last wiggle out. Take a deep breath. That was fun. You know a lot of the vocabulary words that Phoebe uses in her work. All right, we're going to check in with Phoebe again in the field. This time, though, you've got to really pay attention because we're going to do a poll afterward. It's like a pop quiz. All right, our producer Andre is going to connect us back with Phoebe. Go ahead, Andre.
So what is freshwater? Freshwater is the type of water that's found in rivers, lakes, wetlands, swamps and marshes. And it's different from most water in this planet, which is found in oceans. That type of water is called seawater and it's really salty, whereas freshwater is different because it doesn't have a lot of salt in it. And that means that you get freshwater ecosystems that are different from ocean ecosystems. Now, an ecosystem is a word scientists use to describe a sort of small world within the world. So the different animals and plants and water that you find inside this lake is called the Lake Mugglesay ecosystem. And the ecosystem you live in might be the ecosystem in your town, or we might go to a jungle or a rainforest, and that's a different type of ecosystem. So ecosystem is a word meaning this little world within inside the world.
Now, my favourite type of ecosystems are freshwater ecosystems because so many of the animals found in them are just really weird and look so strange. Like this huge fish. Now, this is an American paddlefish, and what it's doing is eating. So it's swimming around with its mouth wide open to catch the tiny, tiny, tiny animals that live in the water that are called zooplankton.
So what are predators? Now, predators are what we call any animal that eats any other animal for food. So this includes some of the really famous ones like tigers and sharks and crocodiles, and also a lot which are less famous like giant salamanders. Yep, you heard me right. You can get giant salamanders in China and Japan that actually can get bigger than me.
So we can see here some giant salamanders in an aquarium. My favourite fact about them is they're great dads. So the fathers, they will build a den, and in that den they will look after loads and loads of little eggs, which are the babies, or going to be the babies. And the big dads who look after those babies are called den masters.
So predators are really awesome. And the thing about freshwater predators is they're often really hard to see because they live in the murky waters, so you just don't know they're there. So we might have right under the water here a 2-meter long catfish, and we're just not going to be able to see it. Now, something like a 2-meter long catfish or a giant salamander is what we call a mega predator. So predators that are the biggest predators in their ecosystems. And for freshwaters, those are any predators which can get over about 30 kilograms. Now, to give you some idea of how big that is, that's about the size of a 7-year-old. So if any of you are younger than 7, that means that the predators can get bigger than you. And some of them can get absolutely massive. In fact, some can get over 6 meters long. That's more than twice as long as this paddleboard.
One mega predator who can reach that huge size of double my paddleboard is a white sturgeon. Now, these usually live in the end of rivers where they flow into the ocean, but they go back up to the top of rivers in order to lay their eggs. Now, this is an alligator gar. They're not quite as big, but they're another amazing mega predator that's found in the south of the USA. And this is an arapaima, one of my absolutely favourite fish. And weirdly, it actually gulps air to breathe.
Wow, I didn't realize there were so many different mega predators in the world. I hope you were really listening because it is time for a YouTube poll. Now, for our friends who are with us here in the live chat, you can also answer in the chat bar. YouTubers, you know how to use the YouTube chat bar. So here's your question from Phoebe. Which mega predator do you think is the biggest mega predator? Now, you've got some options, and we're going to leave them up for a minute or so. You could pick the beluga sturgeon, the saltwater crocodile, giant freshwater stingray, or the arapaima, which is a giant freshwater fish. Think about it, make a guess, and put your answer in the poll. Our producer, Andre, will leave that up for just a little bit. And we're going to move back to hearing more from Phoebe while you answer. All right, Andre, can you connect us back with Phoebe again?
So you may not have seen any freshwater mega predators because you may not have been looking, or maybe because so many freshwaters are so murky you just don't know they're there under the surface. But it may also be that they're just gone, because in loads of places around the world, these really cool freshwater species are disappearing because of the impacts we're having on the rivers, lakes and wetlands they live in. So many of them have declined because of pollution. So that's when people put their wastewater into rivers and it makes it too dirty for life to live in. Other issues are when people build dams in rivers. So dams are these big like buildings that block the river, and lots of fish need to go upriver in order to lay their eggs. And if there's a dam in the way, they just can't get past. And this means all over the world, fish are unable to get to the places they need to reach to lay their eggs. So they're unable to have any babies. And so when those adults die, there's So when those adults die, there's nothing replacing them, and those species are disappearing off the face of the earth. That's why it's so important for scientists to study these species, because the better we understand them, the more ways we can try and help them and try and save them, so that they're still here in rivers and lakes for people to see, or often to not see, in the future. Now, that's why I study some of my absolute favourite mega predators. And so right now, today, I'm on Lake Müggelsee, and this is in Germany. Now, Germany is a country in Europe. It's quite cold, and we get a range of really interesting types of fish in this river. But I've actually spent most of my time working somewhere a lot warmer, where we get some very, very different types of mega predators. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play you... Oh, sorry about that, it got a bit choppy. But what we're going to do now is play you guys a video that I made a couple of months ago when I was in Nepal. So Nepal is a country really far from Germany, and it's in Asia, and it's the country where there's Mount Everest, the tallest place in the world. But I live at the lowest point of the country, which is really far from Mount Everest, and where you get my favourite mega predators, crocodiles. Hey guys, so I'm talking to you from a couple of months ago. I'm here in Chitwan, on the edge of the national park, and I'm going to take you all with me for a day in the field. Let's go. All right, okay, we're on the way to the river, and we'll go through the grassland and jungle to get there. And we've got to be really careful because this is really great habitat for wild elephants, rhinos, bears and tigers. So we've got to keep our eyes peeled and make sure that we see them a long time before they see us, so we can give them lots of space to get on with their day and we can get on with our day. You can see, but that is a male wild elephant. That's Ronaldo, and he can be pretty dangerous, so we've got to be really careful and keep a good distance and make sure he doesn't notice us. And there's also a rhino coming up over here. That beach is a rhino, so there's a lot of wildlife going on today. But this area is cool because this is the type of beach that gharial crocs like to nest in. So it's got this really nice sand for them to dig holes in to lay their eggs. we've made it. We're here by the river and some really, really exciting animals to show you right here. So behind me on the bank here are loads and loads of two different types of crocodilians. So what we have here are a type called mugger crocodiles, and that's your kind of like classic crocodile. They've got this thick set chunky head. They can eat absolutely anything. They mostly eat fish, but they will also take crustaceans, snails, or even larger prey that they wait for at the edge of the water. Now the other one, and these are the ones I spend most of my time studying, are the gharial, and they have this incredibly long thin head which is specialised for catching fish. And they only eat small aquatic animals like fish or maybe a soft-shelled turtle. And they are actually two of really big croc species. So the gharial can actually get to over 6 meters long, making it one of the very, very, very biggest crocodilian species in the world. It's very exciting. It's just over here on the riverbank is one of our adult male gharials. And he's really special because he's huge. He's about 5 meters. And he could actually get a lot bigger than that in the future.
Out of curiosity, could we see a show of hands of who might want to be a conservationist like Phoebe one day? I love it.
Awesome. Hoping to work with you all in the future then.
Well, Phoebe, thank you so much for your time and expertise today. It's been a joy going into the field and hearing from you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a joy to get to answer so many awesome questions.
Hey, and all of you kids and teachers and families out there, thank you for coming. Hey, can you give a big mega predator mouth clap to Phoebe? Ready? Chomp! It's been so great to have you all. I hope that you'll come back to more of our events. We've got more episodes coming up through the end of the school year, and for some of you, maybe even after your school year is over. Next Monday, we have another event for your age group. It will be Monday, May 18th with Explorer Yvonne Casagne, and she's going to teach us all about jaguars, pumas, bears. Oh my! So go ahead, register at natgeoed.org/Explorer Classroom. Hey, if you weren't live with us today, you can register for an on-screen spot, or you can keep watching us on YouTube. Teachers, you can also get a really awesome interactive guide that we tailor and curate to every one of our explorers. So be sure to go and look on the registration page for the Explorer Mindset in Action Guide and teacher editions that are linked on our registration page. So everyone, have a great day. Stay curious, keep exploring, and help take care of our mega predators. Bye.